Boom. Done.
Boom.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Look who's here. We have Raquela.
It's Raquela.
And
Hi.
from the unknown virtual digital spot, Serge.
He's a digital nomad.
Yeah,
Where
we
in
don't
the
know where he's
world
at.
is Serge today?
That should be the what do you call it, the quiz?
Yeah, we should all take
Yeah.
guesses, right? Before he
yeah.
actually tells us. I'm going to guess Chicago because that's where he's been for like the last
No, he was
couple
in
shows.
Washington last time.
Really? I thought he was in Chicago.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah,
Serge,
I
can
I
you
don't know where's that. Serge, tell us who's the
tell us
winner?
who is
Who
going
actually
to
listens to Serge? Who is Serge?
when it's
Raquela.
me?
Yeah, and welcome everybody. Raquela, I just saw her daughter's Danny's Twitch show. She's a DJ, so yeah,
Oh,
it was awesome. Yeah, from England, so she was. It was late for for her, I'm sure.
oh my gosh. Danny
Mucho amor,
sounds so
Sac.
cool.
We lost. He's in Sac
Oh,
now.
wow. Okay,
All
welcome
right.
back. But Serge,
See?
where were you last week? That is what we're also arguing about. So we need to know where you're at now and where you were.
This is arguing, by the way.
This is a huge fight.
Hey, Marla, how you doing?
Marlo.
Marlo's a good friend of mine too. He also is a nice guy too. Yes,
Marlo and
Raquela.
I are friends now too.
Oh yeah, okay, wow.
And me and Raquela. I'm pretty much taking all of your friends.
I noticed that. I did notice that. I'm like,
Well,
okay.
I'm grateful for that. I don't think as many of my people watch the show, so it is kind of nice that my circle has expanded, but I'll try and get some of my friends on here.
Oh, Chris, great.
Chris is
Another
here.
one. Another body snatch friend.
I know. You know really great people. That's actually a cool compliment.
You know. And yeah, so how are you? How's it been this week?
Today I'm good. It's been really hard. I feel like in a lot of ways it's been the same reasons for the last couple weeks, which is just the things a lot of us are going through. Ongoing pandemic, bad air. I'm a sensitive breathing group, so I'm still not going outside. So it's been okay. It's just not great. I'm really looking forward to our guest tonight. I think it'll be really great to talk about. We're going to talk to a healer and someone who has already sort of calmed me down, even just in our pre-show chatter. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to Teresa Lerma-García.
There you go. See, you rolled the R. Perfect.
I'm trying not to just take. So how are you doing? I didn't get to ask you. How are you doing, Ruben?
Well, we have one more. Hola from Mountain House, California. Hola, Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine.
Yeah. You want to try to pronounce her second name?
Lorraine Campuzano del Rosario.
Perfect.
How would you say that? How do you say that?
I'm going to let you have that one. Colleen Craig, I would pronounce that. Yes. Hello, Colleen. How you doing? I'm so glad she's here today too.
Colleen, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks. It's so nice to see you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that everybody's here because we do need a really good cleansing too. I think for myself too. Hey Zach, how you doing? Zach's a really good friend of mine, old friend of mine from when we were kids.
Yeah.
We used to call him Rat Nest because his hair, because he had a big fro. So, but I'm doing okay. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm everything today. So I mean, I'm mad for certain situations because when I don't know things, I get a little bit upset about stuff. But that's more of a side effect than anything else. But yeah, so I'm game to talk about any kind of anywhere we go. I'm ready so far. So I made a new
altar.
This is it. A new altar, which is the Buddha today, because I need to be calm and I need the energy. And we played the monks to clear the energy out. And the door representing it's time to open the door. Sometimes, you knock on it. Sometimes you got to go through it. So,
tell me more about that, because you were saying, hi, Heather.
Heather and her mom's watching. Good. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did ask my sister to come on to listen to it too, because, as Mexican, we need to know our indigenous roots too. Even though I've searched for mine more than they have, I just thought it'd be interesting to see Teresa and explain, and just see how we are, because we're from Zacatecas, and it is there are a lot of indigenous people up there. They're not as prevalent right now as you go to Oaxaca or anything else where there are, but I went to search for mine, so. I'm just interested because sometimes you have to invoke that mystery of your DNA, and I think that's what happened with me when I went down there. So, see,
he's Melissa's. I like that. Last week I was in Chicago after Washington. So Ruben, sorry, I was listening better than you.
I think we may have both won. Is that the winners? So anyway, so I'm excited. I'm excited to have Teresa on here. She's been here on the show commenting, and next Surge will be on here soon too. But I think I've met Teresa long. Well, it's been a while. I think we'll see.
Okay.
But she's a very awesome, beautiful person, and a great healer. And I think there's a lot of things I don't know, which is great too, and a lot of things I want to explore as myself too. But I think everybody will be very, please ask questions, because we really want to know about what she does and some of the healing techniques that she does, because I'll let her explain it more than I will. But I'm excited because I really feel like I need it tonight. I really do. I'm sure a lot of people do in different capacities. Like I said, I had a friend passing away. I know someone's leaving this earth, soon too, so that kind of weighs on my my mind too, because I think as a empathic person, someone that has that really does it, you feel everything, and and you can't, it's just it goes with the territory, right? You can't you can't
decide what you feel and what you don't.
So it'll be good, and like I said, that's why I put the door away, just because.
I was going to ask, so how does the door fit into the theme tonight of sort of like healing and indigenous roots?
I think it's kind of like how I feel tonight. I feel that that someone opened that door and walked through that door, which to the other side, and someone else is knocking at that door, and sometimes you have to go through the door, and sometimes and so that's just the way my brain works. So it's a very symbolic. It's very symbolic. It's also a door from Mexico, so it's very symbolic for me too.
You did an entire door series, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it represents to me. So I have a door series, because sometimes the doors aren't open. They're like grass has grown over them, or leaves. They haven't been open before. But there's such a mystery indoors. So
nice.
So we should go on to the song, and tonight we're going to take you to a little place, and then we'll come back with Teresa. Let me go here, and give me a second here. But thank you everybody for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. And this is, if that's what you're here for, just to hear that you're loved. You really are. And I'm stuck.
You're not alone. And we would love to hear how you're doing. So if anybody wants to drop a comment and just say how you're feeling tonight. Sometimes the words, how are you, can be pretty big, because it's like, well, I've been all over the place, but how are you doing tonight? There's no wrong answers. And you're not alone, whatever it is. So we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
We loved your photos when you traveled to Mexico. It's very inspiring to me and my creations. That's so cool.
And love back. Yeah, we love you. So Raquel, she's moving to Sacramento, so we can't wait till she's here. So let's go. Let's play the song, and we'll come back. We're going to get some So, you know, some good feeling in, and we'll come back with you guys.
Wait, what are we watching?
Oh, cosplay.
Oh, that's right. Cool.
So, welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour. This is when times were a little bit different. We'll be getting crowds. Don't forget, wear a mask.
Is this pre-pandemic? But
Yes.
some people just already have masks.
Yeah.
They knew what was up.
And we'll be back. Special guest, the cat is a special guest.
Oof.
And we welcome to everybody here. We welcome back Teresa. Thank you for coming out. And we are here.
I'm muted.
There you go. We'll let the song fade
I'm
out.
so happy to have you.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's fine.
This is
I wasn't talking.
there
anyway.
is no lyrics on this song, so that's perfect.
This is a very mesmerizing song.
Yeah. So I had to get everybody in that, that groove and the beats and the, in life. Clear all that other stuff out. Which music is energy, so. And so are beats. Song called As We Dance.
What's cool about that video is it looks like they just set up a place where that girl was always dancing and then just saw who would join in with them. And I just think that's fun.
See?
As we dance, we feel too. P.S. While in D.C., Ruben played Heaven Till Dawn and I keep it on loop when I work. Great song.
Oh, good.
Aww. Look at all these people you're influencing,
I
Ruben.
try to find it. Actually, I do. Well, not vinyl dig. I used to be a vinyl digger, but I do look for songs, to get that going. So, but now, welcome everybody. Teresa.
Welcome.
¿Cómo estás?
We're so
I mean, how
happy
are
to
you?
have you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. It is an honor to be here. Hey, Evelyn, that's a comadrita that dances with us.
Oh, hello, Evelyn.
Yeah, we're always, messaging back and forth and, sending positive, things to one another. And so good to have you on here, Evelyn. It just is really, once again, an honor to be here. I just want to thank anybody and everyone that is watching. Just want to send you love and light and a virtual hug. So, if we can all just take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Whatever is bothering you at the moment, let's let that escape our mind for a moment, and just feel and understand your presence on this earth, in the space that you're in, and know that you're full of love and light and energy. Um, and so, whenever you're ready, you can awaken, um, and be present and in the Zoom world, or I would say um, virtual world that we're in. Um, it just feels really good to be here. So I just want to once again thank the Creator for another day of life. Thank all our spirits, our guides. We're here, a physical being, but our spirit is alive, and can connect with other spirits as well. And so it's just full circle. And
Yeah.
it's another.
Well, we're happy you're here. Omar says hola, and we're happy Omar's back. He is the animal whisperer. Cha-Cha Whispers. You might know
Cha-Cha
him.
Whispers.
We need Cha-Cha Whispers back. So, no, we're excited to have you here because it's a great time to be here too. And I know that we're going to into the spirit world now with Dia de los Muertos coming up too. So
Yeah.
it is a segue into that too. So but again, once again we talk about COVID and everybody uh, isolating and just yeah, it's I've seen many friends isolate, and it hasn't been great for them too. So, but yeah, so I appreciate coming out and clearing the air, so to speak, clearing the energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I think we're kind of all in that, feeling isolated. But we have to remember that we are, alive. And that's what we're here for. Every day is, waking up and, thinking that, thank you for just being thankful for another day of life. Because, the next day, even the days after aren't even promised. But um, just having, that gratitude for and being grateful, for, when the sun rises and, even when the sun sets and, stepping out of your house and, taking a deep breath and, taking in Mother Nature and, looking at Father Sky, just to know that those are energies that can help you, that you can look to. And so, for those of you that are feeling isolated, you're not alone. We are all kind of feeling that way, but sometimes you have to remember that you have to take care of yourself. And I think that's very important in regards to taking care of the self, because before we can be of service to others, we need to take care of ourselves. And so I think that's just a great reminder, even in the mornings, whenever it is that you take a shower, it's kind of like utilizing that water as a way of cleansing yourself. That's something that we can do every day. It's thinking and kind of anything that's been bothering you, starting from your crown all the way down into the ground. And you're just pushing anything that's been bothering you negative. Let the water cleanse it away, let that negativity just go down and try to become the water. So then that water can kind of just flow through you.
yeah, I do that sometimes too. I do,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
I mean, there's certain things that we can do, and I think that's one of them. And the other thing is, giving yourself, self love. We're a physical being, but sometimes, we don't always feel love, and sometimes we have to understand that we have to love ourselves, because when you love yourself, you feel good, you feel great, and so it's important to love yourself, so then you can continue to love others, give everybody else the energy that you're able to give.
What do you do on those? Is that your
sorry.
actual brother?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Well, hello, Chris. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biden Harris. Woohoo! Not to get political. But Teresa, I'm interested about like the days when you might wake up and just feel terrible. And because I know we all have those days, or even the end of the day. Like, what do you do in those moments where you don't feel like yourself and you don't feel like at all grateful, like what are the tools you turn to?
One of the things that I really like to do is, step outside. I always take it outside because being in your home and, having and just kind of like laying in your bed or laying, wherever it is that you're at, you're having a bad day, kind of taking it outside and just taking a deep breath, internalizing everything, from your arms to your legs, all the way up to your core, and seeing if you can kind of like visualize what's bothering you and taking a deep breath and just letting it go. And it goes back to a breathing. You have to remember to breathe, because that's what gives you, your energy. You need your brain, you need to have oxygen, enough oxygen for your body for it to continue to work and function, so it can continue to carry you. So for myself, is, like I said, internalizing everything, taking a deep breath. And it might have be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 deep breaths until you can actually feel yourself like relax. Because, we're so used to being tense and, something bothering us. And, when you're tense, your body hurts, and, you have to learn to relax your body. So then you can have the positive, fluid of energy to, to continue to carry you. So then you can, go on through your day. Water, drinking lots of water. I love you too, brother. Um, you know, I think drinking water is very important, because sometimes we dehydrate ourselves, and when our body feels dehydrated, we don't feel um, we don't we don't feel very strong. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, after either a long day or, where you just haven't had something to drink, and, you just grab this, glass of water, and you just drink it, it just fills you. I don't know. For me, it energizes me. And so I think it's looking at the natural elements that are around us, that we're made of, that can help us.
Yeah.
I think your brother said, Melissa.
So, not my brother, but
No.
Chris said there has always been said that you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself first. Self-love for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And Lisa says thank you to you too.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes.
Yeah. Has always said, yeah.
My brother and I, we have those conversations because, like you said, sometimes we have those days. And, the other thing is, if you don't have, if you're not ready to, get up out of bed or, kind of start your day, sometimes it's sending a message to, a person that you can connect. And, and if you're, if you have a partner or, you don't have a partner and, they're there present with you, when I'm having a bad day, sometimes I'm like, look, I need a hug. Don't ask me, what I'm going through, but I just need you. I just need a hug. And, having that heart to heart connection with somebody else is so powerful, because you're exchanging energy, and, sometimes you can feed off of other people's energy. And so if you find yourself, it does, Evelyn, sometimes it does hurt to relax, but you kind of have to focus to the point where you have to endure the pain a little bit to feel, I guess, the good part at the end.
Like to get through that discomfort, because I think it's different whenever you've been in a mode of like panic or stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, relaxing feels bad. It feels wrong.
Yeah.
I think for me, it can almost feel safer to be stressed out, because it's like, oh, then I have everything under control and I can like schedule everything to the second. And Chris, that's a good point. He said, don't be afraid to ask. Your partner can't read your mind. Well, he should be able to. So just going to say that.
It's good, Payne. I agree. And also, like I said, we wake up differently. I do the Buddhist technique of which is Thich Nhat Hanh's technique, which is his they call it his continuous day tomorrow. He had a massive stroke, so he's not doing very well, and there was all this stuff. But which sometimes but his theory was always wake up and smile, and have a mantra for yourself. 24-hour. It's basically waking up and I'm alive, right? I have 24 hours to live life in the life of compassion for other people, and that's how I wake up every day with a smile, even if I force it. I don't feel good, right? But I still force it to go. Okay, well, I mean, not force it, but just go. Okay, I used to be an all or nothing guy. Like if I woke up in a kind of shitty mode, it was going to be a shitty day, right? But then I realized that no, you can change that. I mean, you don't have to be all or nothing. That was just my way of doing stuff, but it is different things of like when you talk about going into the shower. I remember reading about, I don't know if it was a Maya or where they would go into the river and then they would sage themselves, and then the water coming from would cleanse them, and then the water leaving would take all the negative energy and bring it back to Mother Earth. And that's how I feel when I feel like, well, we're urban setting, so I do that when I stage the shower, and then let the energy go down into the drain and let it recycle itself into like I'll take all my bad energy, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think we all have different coping mechanisms too, because
Right.
And it is true. Like I think Melissa and I were talking about, like, you can't always be positive about everything, because it just doesn't work that way. When you're trying to cover it up by, no, it's going to be great. No, it's actually not. Some days are like you just got to feel what you feel. And it does happen, and it will pass. And like you said, it's like sometimes it hurts to relax. It hurts to to think that you could have saved someone, or you could have done something to or to help somebody, but sometimes you can't too.
Right.
So, but yeah.
And movement, I think movement of the body is important. That's in Aztec dancing. We're the focal point in a circle. And, when you get a group of individuals that come together, everybody is bringing their piece of energy into the circle. And so we're creating like this energy ball. And sometimes that's kind of just a deterrent for us to kind of just let it go. There's points where you're in the middle of dancing and, you might have been stressed out, when you got there thinking about something. But as soon as you step into that circle and, and you're in prayer, anything and everything that was bothering you, no longer exists, because you've either released it into, the universe, and, they kind of just, it took it over. So movement of the body is very important, exercising, even if it's, 10, 15-minute walk. I think it's important to do that, and yeah, that's right. It's okay not to be okay. It is kind of human nature.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're a human being, and you are able to move, if you can. So I'm trying to find a way where you can move your body, so then your body can create energy to give you energy. So that would be another way.
So Chris misses Danza so much. Where's Chris at now? Nice to meet you, Chris. San Diego?
Oh, San Diego.
Oh, I don't talk to people from the sun. No, kidding. We're so much more mellow in Sacramento. Now, Teresa, so let's get some background on you too, because I know that you are an Aztec dancer, right? And I was told Melissa, I don't like really know what that means too. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I haven't really. I know I've talked to you about some stuff, but not really delve into your life and as a light healer too.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you give us some background on that too, if you can?
Yeah, so Aztec dancing, there's a spiritual connection in regards to Aztec dancing. There's a connection where we are a piece of energy. And when we hear the drum, it's the vibration that kind of radiates through our body, and it kind of puts our body at a different frequency. And so having to feel that vibration, and the movement, and stepping on on Mother Earth and the ground barefooted, um, it's you're able to endure kind of pain, but at the same time, it's a good feeling. And Aztec dancing it's not just dance. There's song and prayer. As we transition, and go through, Dia de los Muertos, we have what we call is a velación, which is, a vigil where, we start probably about 6 or 8 o'clock in the evening or at night, and people come and bring flowers and candles and offerings that they put on the altar. And it's what we do is through song and prayer is we then take those flowers and we construct a piece of prayer. Everybody's prayer gets placed in front of the altar, and we do that sometimes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it doesn't end till about even the next day about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we rest a little bit after song and prayer is done, and we get up and dance the next day. And it's having that duality of experience night and then also experiencing the day. And so it goes back to the elements, it goes back to connecting to the elements. And so it's connecting yourself to something that's more powerful, and something that our body kind of calls, it's a calling at times, and it's medicine that can heal you. And even when we're doing song and prayer, at the end of the velación that we have, is we all get our cleansing. Everybody that's attended song and prayer and has attended the vigil, velación, will get their cleansing. And that's the sacrifice of having to stay up all night, to where at the end of the night, that you're going to be able to get cleansed. And so it's medicine that people need. And so it's just beautiful.
Chris, sorry, Melissa.
New spirit here. I've loved Danza for the acceptance. Another family, so much purity, culture, and tradition. That's awesome. That's a really important thing, I think, anyone speaking, but especially anyone that might be made to feel like an outsider in any way. So that's a really beautiful aspect.
And then the other thing that kind of goes with it is, what you put in, as far as you have to find a balance in regards to when it comes to being part of, the Aztec dancing culture tradition. Is there's a balance in regards to family and work and dancing and traveling and visiting other ceremonies, and that can kind of take a toll on you, but at the same time is it's so rewarding, because it's something that your heart just needs. It's healing, it's prayer, it's energy. And it's something that it's kind of like it's being self-rewarded, because you're able to dance in the ceremonies, or you're able to stay up all night, and it kind of takes a toll on your body. But at the same time, once the ceremony is done, you're looking for the next one. Where else can we be, and where else can we join, and offer our song and prayer. And
sounds like a little bit of a high, like it's that
it is experience. And it's there isn't a book that you can pick up that will tell you how you'll feel. until you experience it yourself. And I know that, I've had that conversation with many times with many dancers. There's just something that it's
Well,
it's
I
very
can.
spiritual, and the energy is there.
I've never danced before. I mean, I'm probably maybe that's good, but no. But just the drums and the smell, nickel, all the smells, everything gets me
Mhm.
going. Like sometimes I don't know whether to. I was like, I don't know what it activates my DNA. I don't know if it's I'm running or I'm fighting or what I'm doing, but it really messes with me. Like in a way that's just when I'm in whether I hear the drums, my body has an effect to it, and I don't know what effect it has, because sometimes it scares me,
It's a
right?
frequency. It's
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, cool, this sounds great. I'm like, I'm there. My DNA activates and I'm there. Sometimes like,
Mhm.
you better run.
Right.
but uh, Colleen has a one you can read, Melissa, and Colleen is always on here too, and she's an awesome artist too, and I'm sure. But I think people like, yeah.
So Colleen said, beautiful words. I have found the longer I've been practicing to breathe into my pain, as I call it, I'm finding less resistance from my body to want to stay in the very normalized fear body that many of us have lived in for our whole lives. And now I transition back to my spirit lightness much quicker than before. I miss other people's energy so much. So thank you, Tere, for sharing.
Yeah. We have to remember that we are humans, and we're either a human having a spiritual experience, or we're a spirit having a human experience. And so it's a little bit difficult for people to kind of to see where they're at, and whether what they're doing is it real. Um, the other thing is, once you find and connect yourself, sorry, that just made me a little bit emotional, and I think I just connected with her, and so I feel her pain. Um, and I'm transitioning in regards to, that's just sometimes some of the work that I do, is that when other people tell me of their pains, um, I can feel them. But just I know where she's coming from, um, and I just want to give you love and light, and continue to connect with your individual self, and stay on that spiritual path, because that's where we all need um, to be connected some kind of way, where we can continue um, to have our light shine.
So on that note, I want to show like I think we have like a minute and a half of video of some of the dance, so
Mhm.
we can show and get some of the drums and all that going too, so we can hear it. So I'm gonna bring that up right now, and then we'll come right back with it too. So let's go and let's see what it is.
Wow, that is so cool. I love the little child participating too.
I was gonna say that too. That's the third time I watched it just now. I'm like, the little girl is, she's awesome. She's like, yeah.
Um, we often get invited from the community to, to offer dance and offer a blessing. And so that day we were invited by Mecha at Sac State to come and bless their altars. And, we offered our prayers, which is in the way of, dancing. And um, it's just so beautiful to see, the children, because it's kind of like they're the ones who we're leaving these traditions to. And so, the little ones start from, in the womb. And, we have mothers that come and dance and, they're dancing and, sometimes they're drumming and, then when it's time for after the babies are born, they bring them and introduce them back into the circle. And one of the beautiful things about ceremony is that we transition with the seasons, and we have the spring ceremony. We have the summer solstice, we have the winter solstice ceremonies, and so we transition, and we offer our prayers and we offer thanks, for those transitions that happen in Mother Earth.
So that is Sac State, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Serge is right. Yeah.
That was in the ballroom.
Stingers up.
Aww.
And I hope my daughter wants to dance.
Monique. So Monique is she's my sister.
Oh, okay.
And she just had a little one, her and her wife. And yeah, once we get to that point and we're able to bring the little ones back into full circle, we'll slowly transition. But that's we do have a lot of young groups, young ones in our group, and it's just so beautiful to see the children.
Yeah. So is that how you got started? Were you introduced by like family as a child, or is it something that you rediscovered?
So I actually discovered danza at Sac State. It was an organization, and so we actually ended up getting funding for through the university, and we actually funded our travels to go to Mexico. So that was really neat. Very blessed, to have been able to experience that. But the first time I danced was at the Washington Neighborhood Center in Sacramento. And, I'm part of the group Calpuli. Our jefa, our teacher is Citlalin de los Reyes Rodriguez. And she just has so much patience. And I appreciate that I started, dancing with them. But I got, when I started, I got to see and understand how danza kind of functions. In regards to that, we weren't the only group in Sacramento. There's other groups that existed. And so just recently, the Sacramento Kings had honored one of the elders, which is Maria Miranda, for the service that she does in the community. And, she's one of my, teachers as well, that, that I've learned danza from. And so, very knowledgeable and, involved in the community. And, continuing to teach the ways. And also learned from Chuy Ortiz, Lincoln Ka, he rests in peace, but he was also one of the well-known elders and teachers in Sacramento. And so,
when you found that group as a college student, it sounds like, was it kind of like Ruben, you'll describe how when you started to reconnect with Oaxaca, how you say your DNA was activated? Is that kind of how it felt? Did it awaken or kind of show you your roots in a way?
It did. It kind of made me go back and, ask, my mom, like, I knew where she was from, but you understanding, if, there was any like danza connection that, my family had. Um, and, there wasn't, but, my mom knew that, danza existed, in wherever she's from in Guadalajara. But as um, I would say even to this day, I've always wanted to travel back to Guadalajara and, be part of, and, be of service to, the ceremony there, and offer my song and offer my prayers. Um, so yeah, it does ignite, there's some type of energy, that keeps you connected. Um,
Yeah, and Raquel said she had an Aztec dancer. She walked out of the church in the wedding ceremony 28 years ago. It was what great memories.
awesome.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and and it is, like I said, it is, I got my DNA test done, so I'm excited that I was mostly indigenous, so that's awesome. I'm like, yes. But but I always felt, like, when you grow up Mexican, right? Either you feel there's the Latin. That's why I don't like the Latin term, myself. But there's either, people that will identify with the Spanish, right? Mexicans will or people will identify. I always identify with an indigenous, right? My whole life was like that, and I didn't know why. I didn't know. I just never, like, don't do that. Don't call me Spanish, right? I mean, even though I have to accept that too in my life because that's part of me. But as a kid, I never really wanted to be that part of the Mexican part of me. I was like, no, I can feel it in my blood that I was more, indigenous than I was Iberian, or I mean, I'm part African, Jewish. You throw all this stuff in there, I'm in there. But I was very happy, because I know my mom was indigenous, and I went to go look for in Zacatecas. I went to go look for my roots, and they, and the sad part about that over there too is that they kind of sometimes will say, oh, no, you don't want to know about that, right? And so I had to go look for my indigenous roots, and I asked my aunt, my only living aunt, I said, what do you remember from my grandmother? She's like, what do you remember? Can you just tell me what? She's like, well, I remember them coming down from the mountains, and as a prayer when someone passed away, they'd come down the certain way, or they'd come down and sell pottery. And I go, that's all I want to. That's what I want to know, because there's so many indigenous tribes, even in Zacatecas, that it's hard to figure out pinpoint what part of the indigenous tribe you were. So, but when I was telling Melissa, I'm like, when I go to Mexico, my blood does activate. It goes right to my heart, and I'm like, I feel great. My girlfriend Melissa. Not that Melissa. No, but she always goes, you got to go to Mexico. When you come back, it's like you're a different person. I'm like, yeah. Even if it's for 2 weeks, I really feel cleansed, and I really feel activated at that point. So, and that's what we're talking about too.
Yeah.
But
every time I travel to, even to LA, there's the dancing culture is, it's a little bit more stronger in LA. And even when I travel to Mexico, it's been a while, but, I never want to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's something there, energy wise that it's that you just get drawn to, and and like I go back to the beginning is that we all carry energy, and so there's something about that, that we always go back to, it's kind of seems like it's our calling.
So, you want to read that one? You want to answer that question, Teresa?
So, yeah, I think she was trying to say it's in our DNA. It is. There's even just having that. Like I said, there's no book that you can pick up that describes what type of energy you're kind of like your culture brings. You can explain a culture, and you can try to understand, but it's different from participating and knowing, and experiencing song and prayer, and if there's dance with it.
What would you suggest to someone who might be watching that maybe they have indigenous roots, but maybe they don't have anyone around them that has necessarily taught them anything or practices the culture or has embraced that world. So is there any way you might suggest getting involved or like learning more about, because talking about decolonization, it's like so much of what this country is built on has been erasing those experiences from families. And so, yeah, what would you suggest to someone?
So one, it would start in the home, but for people that, don't have that, you really have to do your research. You have to have an open mind. And it may be, kind of start looking at what other cultures that, you might be drawn to. And the other thing would be is, they're not alone. We all come from somewhere, and there is some type of roots, and sometimes it's just a matter of feeling. you know if you go to a group, or if you participate in a culture, and it just doesn't feel right, then maybe that's not the energy that you were seeking. So it would be, maybe going to a drum circle, or kind of, you could even, even if you go to like a meditation circle, something that'll connect you in a spiritual way. And there's groups, there's different groups. It's just a matter of finding them. And having communication with others, you could always, seek, multicultural centers. I think that's a great place. Is even at, in the community, where's the nearest multicultural center, and what types of cultures are within the community, and what other cultures are in the surrounding community. So I think that would be a great opportunity, is, knowing where the cultural centers are, and asking questions. And, there's got to be someone that can lead you to what it is that you're seeking.
Does it, like, so when we talk about energies, right, we talk about pure energy and, drumming and its energy and stuff like that too. And you talk about like cultures, right? Like we all have, I mean, all, in America too, we all come from different cultures that at some point in time were more Mother Earth oriented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody lived from, and it seems like we lost that too. It doesn't matter if you're German, Jewish, whatever, you know what I mean? Like everybody seems to come from the earth, and then, through industrialization, all this stuff, and it seems like a
We're
lot
programmed.
about it. Yeah, we're programmed to that, and I think that a lot of us, well, I mean, obviously we come from somewhere, and I think that's what's kind of hard too, is trying to find where we come from, right? Because I know that a lot of my friends that I know, like they emote with certain American Indian stuff, or Eastern Europe. Like for me, I really emote with a lot of Eastern philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, I find out that I'm Eastern Asian descent. So, from DNA and stuff like that. But I think that we have so many different elements to ourselves. It's kind, you have to kind of like be mindful of all of your DNA too, and and bits that you have inside you that do call out for you. And I think it's kind of hard. Like you said, you got to study and make that a point too.
Yeah,
So.
it goes back to, having that balance. You have your, it's kind of like your daily life. You go to work. If you have family, you tend to your family. Um, but if you feel that there's something missing, then it's kind of like you're still on your journey. And sometimes people might get to their journey or destination quicker than others. And sometimes, people that are, it might take others longer, so it just depends, what their experience is, what they've been exposed to, what they haven't been exposed to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like we're so programmed, where you wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone, log into a computer. And so you have, or, you turn on the TV, and, even with, having with kids, it's easy to, turn on the TV. It's like, oh, go watch something, or, go put something on the TV. And it's going back and having that connection. And so I think you have to connect with people. You just have to, you have to break the daily kind of like monotony of things, and reprogram yourself. And it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard to reprogram, and if you're a person that does things, every day, and you have your schedule, and we're always so ran by time, it's hard. So you kind of have to take a step back, and you have to think about, what are some of the things that I can do that will make me a either more productive person, or, finding a little bit more time, setting, limits on your phone. Sometimes it makes it easier. I mean, everybody has a phone, I mean, that's people that don't, okay, they don't have one. But for the most part, everyone has a phone. And if you find yourself that you're on the phone more often than not, then, and you're trying to find your spiritual self, you have to think about, okay, am I really going to focus on trying to figure out who I am and what I am, or what I need to connect to? Or am I going to spend it and hopefully I find it on the internet? So you have to think about it. There's certain
Wait, that was something important you just said, because I feel like so often we are just like scrolling. And if you go behind that thought, it's like, I'm going to find something. Maybe I'll find that thing I'm looking for on the internet. When really it's like, if that thing I'm looking for is just a little bit of peace or gratitude, it's not usually on the internet. So I just love the way you phrase that, because it makes it evident how fruitless that search is, and it never ends. So yeah, I love that.
And I know it's important to unplug sometimes, right?
Yes.
From that.
Yes. And I would say, I think just for having that peace of mind, and it's hard to silence the mind, but when you unplug for a moment, and it doesn't have to be like the whole day, if you can unplug, if you can avoid, when you wake up, picking up your phone, use the restroom, go get something to drink, have something to eat, after you've had your time, that self-love just for a little bit, then you can go and, expose your face or, eyes or to the world. But otherwise, you have to give yourself that time. You have to, because otherwise you get so consumed. You get consumed into anything and everything that's going on, and you have to remember that you have to.
See, search. He's the lyric guy. He
I
is.
still haven't found.
We call it. Yes, he always has the lyrics that we need at the moment in time. Yes.
I always suggest to people, I'm great at making suggestions and then not following them myself. I always suggest not to interface with the world for 30 minutes. Like after you wake up, have this little pocket that, for all you know, Donald Trump just said something crazy, which that happens every day. Or maybe something horrific happened. And finding that center beforehand, like finding equilibrium, is so important. And as I say that takes real intention. And when you're out of practice, like I'll admit it, I am, it takes like, maybe you don't have your phone in the room for a while, or things that we aren't used to at this day and age. So yeah, I love that reminder.
Yeah. And I always think about, lessons in life. If there's things that keep happening to you, whether it's good or, it's something negative, or, why is this always happening to me? Or, why it's kind of like, why this again? It's a life lesson. Until you learn that lesson, you're always going to be in lesson, which is a little bit kind of
Scary.
it's kind of like a catch-22 to where, you know, if you've learned something, okay, then you learned your lesson. But if it's still happening to you, then maybe it's not you that has imposed that lesson on you. Maybe it's the universe telling you that maybe this person isn't ready yet. So you have to think about there's other forces and other things that are out of your control that kind of put things in front of you that you can't control. And so you have to think about that things that aren't around you that you can't physically touch and put your hands on. If you can't control them, don't worry about them.
You know, I was gonna say in the I Ching it's called shock. The I Ching is only the unknown knows the unknown, and if you don't learn your lesson, something will come and shock the shit out of you, and and it'll shake your world until you learn your, and then you'll stop doing it. Yeah. And I always tell someone I've learned that myself. I'm like, why did I do the same thing over and over again? You know, I was gonna get the same result. You know, like learn my lesson. I'm like, okay, maybe about the third time. Yeah, but yeah, it's true. I'm like, okay, I don't need to be. I need a dog collar is what I need. You know, to be shocked, so I don't go over that. You know,
add that to your list of birthday gifts. Dog collar for Ruben.
Yeah. So, you want to read Raquel's?
That's right. Raquel had told me she'd been away from Facebook. I've been away from Facebook for weeks. I came back today to support this show. It's the one thing I can get something to think about. Oh, well, that makes me and us so happy.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm so glad we can be that bright spot in the digital world, because I definitely know what you mean, Raquel. I think it can be, sometimes I'll even warn myself if I open Facebook before bed, I know I could full well see something very scary or traumatic or depressing. And it's sort of like, and obviously that's always a chance, but that's also life, right? So I think acknowledging, and I talked about this in my social media course back a couple months ago, that like I choose to engage on here. And until I decide completely not to, I'd rather do it consciously and knowing, okay, I want the social connection. I want to follow leaders I admire. I want to see funny cat videos. And I need to watch my brain, because when I start to like sink into a depression, that's time to sign off. Like, and those are moments it's really easy to get lost in scrolling. So oh gosh, it's just, I think so much of life is just watching ourselves and like, how am I feeling, as you talk about,
right?
Following the feeling, really tuning into that.
So, may I do something before I forget tonight too?
Yes.
Because I want to say a special goodbye to one of my friends who passed away yesterday. I believe it's yesterday. So, and we talk about love, and you know, she was a great spirit, a poet, an artist. And I'd like to say thank you, Cassie, for coming into my life. And I always remember our last hug and smile. And it was a wonderful person. And, you know, my heart goes out to her family. It was sudden. We're trying to figure out what happened. But it's also very, I think Melissa and I talked about how show about ambiguous loss. And it's ambiguous, so it is kind of hard not to know. But we talked about a hug and a smile and that energy that gives off to people, you know, and hopefully soon we'll get back to that time. And it's hard. It's harder to know what people are going through this time. So it's sometimes you just check in with somebody. And my vow is to always finish my conversation, even if it's on a message, because this is the second person that I never finished my conversation on a messaging, and they passed away. So, you know, I just want to say, you know, thank you to her for coming into my life, and you know, and I love you, Cassie, and I love everybody out there. So, but I just wanted to bring that out to her and hope she has a more painless life out there than she did, obviously, here. So,
thank you for sharing that, Ruben. I know that, you know, it can be difficult because, you know, sometimes we do feel isolated. And, you know, we don't know what, you know, people are thinking, or, you know, what they're going through. So I think it's good that you were able to share that. And, you know, it might be, you know, it was a small message, but it was very powerful. And it was made for you to present that.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we talked about, like you said, energies and people that, I mean, obviously my mom passed away when I was born, and and it's energy that's passed on from her, right? And I know that, like I said, she's in a better place if that was, what truly happened. But I also honor the fact that she was in my life, and all the people that have passed away in my life. I honor them, that they taught me something, and if it's just teaching me that, hey, you got to finish that message, you got to finish that. But obviously I didn't know, because I thought it was full of the future. It wasn't any kind of message that was like dire or anything like that. It was full of hope for the future, and that's why it confuses me a little bit more, because I was like, you know but I'm I do check on it on my friends, but I think that talking to people and that kind of energy is more important than messaging people, because you can hear their voice. I may have heard something different if I would have said, hey, let me pick up the phone and talk to you. And I'm an energy person, so of course I go through the motions of, there's nothing I could have done, right? But still, I'm like, what if I would have answered that? You know what I mean? Like, you go through these, everybody is right now. So,
Right.
and when everybody, no matter what the circumstance is, like, I should have said goodbye. I should have said, hello, and I should have listened.
Right.
But, and everybody out there too, because this is the third person that I've seen or had happen during this time of COVID. And we talk about mental health and isolation, and it's just it's taken its toll on everybody. And I think that the more we have, like the show, right? And and Melissa came on, and we do reach out to people, and we do what we can do. And I hope that it does help sometimes somebody, or we can talk about stuff, because that's what we have to do, to ensure our community is going to be safe. And whatever that community is, it is virtual right now, but still, it's a very difficult thing to go through right now too.
So let's kind of like make a full circle, because here there's we were honoring somebody that's passed in transition, and now they're on. I always say that I'm jealous of people that pass away, and not in like to be envious or anything, but in a way that they are on another journey. It's kind of like they're starting their second journey of life when we're still on our first journey, even though we might have had like past lives. And so I just asked the Creator to guide her, and as she transitions, and I asked the Creator to, protect her and her family. And I asked the Creator that they give the family love and light and strength as they are dealing with the loss. And as we're going and seeing somebody pass today, there were 3 people that I would like to honor as they were born into this world today. And so that being said, a happy Earth Day to Avelica, to Alicia, to Jose and Guillermo. And so those are just people that I'm connected with. And so I just wanted to bring that as we, send someone on their journey, we also honor those that are have their born day and into this earth.
Thank you to them too, right, for coming up.
Yeah, it really is full circle to be able to call in all of those recognitions of just the sacredness of life, and how departing from the life is a part of life. So yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, Ruben.
Oh,
Never
you're welcome.
easy.
Thank you, and love you too, Colleen. Yeah, it's it's kind of, it's hard when you open Facebook and you see this, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, and you don't, obviously I don't know what, like I said, what happened or anybody, because I don't really know her friends too, because she's been in and out of my life, right? But always a super sweet soul. So it is, like I said, when Melissa and I talked about this ambiguous loss of not knowing how to, you don't have it. It's not a concrete thing. You don't know what happened. You can only guess. You can only what, and that was all last night. I'm good now because I know that I feel my heart that no matter what anybody, my friends I went through or my nephew, whatever pain they went through, whatever stuff they went, they're not in that pain anymore. I'm not a person that says, oh, you shouldn't have made that decision, or, I'm not living that, I'm not living those pains. I'm not living those thoughts. So, and I do feel a sense of relief too, because they're not there anymore. They're on to their light journey now. And the light journey is nothing that what us humans go through, right? It's like, okay, goodbye. And like you said, a little bit of jealous because, not, when I die, I'll be happy, right? I mean, what can you do? You can't fight it. Yeah. So the transition, like, okay, well, this is it, but it is on the human level, they leave us behind to deal with what we're dealing with and all this stuff too. And, like I said, in my heart, I feel that they're in a better place at this moment, and I'm only dealing with my human emotions, which are real. It's just, it's hard to equate what you're supposed to do. So, but thank you for letting me do that, because that's something, the least I could do in this time, because I can't go to the memorial. Really, I don't know anything. I don't know anybody, and so.
But I think as you talk about, I think we've all had those moments where our last interaction suddenly is rendered so important because it was the last one and we didn't know that. And it feels so sacred, and we can think it and overthink it. And I want to read you guys something that I thought of as we talk about this, because I think whenever, I don't want to make light of this, but whenever loss happens, inevitably, I think we realize how sacred life is. And suddenly a silly joke that I sent you, yesterday would be way funnier to you if I died today. But anyway, let me read you guys this, because it's a short little piece of prose on the sacredness of life. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's by Jeff Foster. It's called You Will Lose Everything. You will lose everything. Your money, your power, your fame, your success, perhaps even your memories. Your looks will go, loved ones will die, your body will fall apart. Everything that seems permanent is impermanent and will be smashed. Experience will gradually or not so gradually strip away everything that it can strip away. Waking up means facing this reality with open eyes and no longer turning away. But right now, we stand on sacred and holy ground. For that which will be lost has not yet been lost, and realizing this is the key to unspeakable joy. Whoever or whatever is in your life right now has not yet been taken away from you. This may sound trivial, obvious, like nothing, but really, it is the key to everything, the why and how and wherefore of existence. Impermanence has already rendered everything and everyone around you so deeply holy and significant and worthy of your heartbreaking gratitude. Loss has already transfigured your life into an altar. That's it, by Jeff Foster. Doesn't that just sort of name the beauty that it's really heartbreaking that your friend just passed away? That sucks.
Yeah.
And her gift to us tonight is that I'm thinking about, wow, it's so cool I get to be here talking to you guys and interacting with our wonderful people who watch the show, and my cat is still alive, and it does, once again bringing it full circle. Tere, you were talking about gratitude at the beginning, and just it's easy for me to forget about gratitude for sure. But
well, and that's what I love. That's what I love about the show, because it is true. Maybe at another time, I'd probably be mourning myself, not mourning, mourning by myself, right? Not necessarily mourning.
I know
myself.
what you meant. Yeah.
But and I've learned, to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable out there. It's okay to put that out there, because we've all go through the same. It's human suffering is what we are born with, so to speak. It's just Yeah.
we're all our, own individuals, and we grieve differently.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we carry, some of us, are um, introverts, some of us are extroverts, some of us, kind of just might be in between, but, we're our own individuals, and we process things, differently. And we just have to remember that, we're nobody to judge.
Yeah.
The only person that, can judge us is going to be ourselves. We
Mm.
are, um, and I think that's one of the things that, it's just a good reminder to think about. One of the things that my mom had always told me, and just growing up, is like, when you're pointing the finger, you have to remember that you got three pointing right back at you. And so,
I'm actually. I'm like, how do you do that?
right? And so, we all process things differently, and
Yeah.
I think that's part of just understanding and accepting that, we are human beings.
Yeah.
And we and we just, everyone is on a different, sometimes we're on the same frequency and sometimes we're not on the same frequency, meaning, sometimes we have the same thoughts and sometimes we don't. But, who are we to judge other people, when, you know there might be things that we don't look within ourselves, that we're so quick to judge others. So it all goes back to, loving yourself, because when you begin to love yourself, then you'll begin to appreciate and love others.
Oh, I love myself. Probably too much.
That's
Every day I
okay,
wake up, I'm like, who gave you this?
right?
No kidding.
It's so
I am
handsome.
blessed.
I told people, I go, my motto is, you can't tell the sun not to shine, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no
true.
kidding. You
Thank
love
you.
yourself too much. No kidding. No
Thank
kidding.
you for shining on us, Ruben.
Yeah, no, but thank you, thank you. You want to read Serge's?
He said, it helps Melissa and Ruben. You two are a 916 anchor to me in my travels as well as others. You both know I stay connected to you two via Cali Cocktail Hour wherever I go. And the band you two. Huh?
And thank you, Chris. And then Ricola wants you to email that to her.
Oh, I'll send that to you.
And then
Yeah.
Serge also wants a poem.
Okay, I'll just reshare it. It was a post I shared probably last year. So although we're not friends, so I'll link it in the comments.
Who's not friends?
And it, like Facebook friends. We're not like not friends. We're
Who?
not friends. Me and Serge. I don't think me and Serge are friends. So
Oh, damn, Serge. Do not be her friend. Trust me.
I have a very exclusive friends list.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't. We can totally be friends, and I can share it in the comments so that anyone can see the original post. Because I think he's I'm not sure, but I think he is an author, but not. I don't know where it was posted. It might have just been a post on Facebook that I shared. So yeah. Okay. So am I going to ask my rapid fire questions?
Yes, you are.
Are you ready? These are for you.
Before we do this, though, real quick, I just want to I want to post a picture of what Teresa also does. She also has a site that she sells a lot of her. How would you describe it?
So I'm going to say that there are tools.
Yes.
There are tools
that
individuals can use for their own healing. Of course, we're in quarantine, so the type of work that I do, I can't come to you and do physical work. But I think what's important right now is that people need to work on themselves, and so these are tools. And what is here is a samador. There's coals and copal, and there is a piece of ocote, which is fat wood. So the tools that are here, you can use them for cleansing. Sometimes we need to cleanse our homes. We need to cleanse ourselves. Our home is our sacred space. So we have to take care of it and we have to protect it. And so these are tools that you can use to protect yourself and your home and your family. And who knows, it might bring you the spiritual connection, that you might be seeking. So this was a little offering that I had put together for a friend of mine. We hadn't connected in a long time. And, I was able to put these tools, prayer bundle together for her. And it was just beautiful to see, what I had put together on her altar. And it was the medicine that she was seeking.
That's beautiful.
And the copal, what's a copal for? Because I have it right here. I was talking to Melissa.
So copal, yes.
Yeah, I love it.
So copal, like I said, you have a piece. I got a
I have
piece here.
Hers is bigger.
It, it is
Ruben.
3 cups.
well, I've been eating mine actually, so I've
I
been.
can
It has
tell.
kind of like a eucalyptus, like minty smell.
Mm.
Um, and what you do is you'll light coal. It's kind of like you're making fire, and you will put a piece of copal on the coal, and that's what creates the essence and the smoke. And it's like I said, it's a form of cleansing, and it's also a communication to kind of like transition our prayers to our loved ones that have passed.
That's awesome.
Which I will be burning tonight or tomorrow. Yeah. So, and we'd like to thank everybody for coming out, and Teresa, we'd like to thank you too. And what do we have next week, Melissa?
Oh, my friend Zach, he is a musician, and I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but he's a really interesting guy. So, yeah, we're going to get some music, and he's a pretty silly dude, so it'll be pretty lighthearted, I think.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
And we'd like to thank you, Teresa, for coming out. I know that I've been asking, well, not asking, telling you. I'm gonna get you on there. I appreciate it. I know there's a lot to talk about too, because there is, a lot of, especially with healing and different modalities and energies and, and like you said, there's a lot of different vibrations and that you can feel through the screen. You can really feel through everything else, and that's why I think, if you were to take our human essence out of here, it would be pure energy going through the screen. So it would be, so.
So I just want to thank you guys for.
Someone misses you.
Yes, so thank you guys for creating this space and being the voices for other people to listen, because it just gives them the opportunity to kind of break away from their kind of long day, and at the end of the week on a Friday, kind of just relax and wind down. And so the energy and the vibration that you guys are creating, continue to do that. And I ask the creator to give you guys the energy, the love, and the strength, and kind of to absorb everybody's comments and questions, and able to make others feel that they're being recognized and present within the moment. And so thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And Carissa's here.
Carissa
Love you
said
too,
thank
Carissa.
you. And good night to everyone. Much love and thank you. So, and with that, we have the wonderful rapid fire question. So this is the hot seat. Are you ready?
All right,
for this?
I'm just going to bust through these because I want to make sure we respect everyone's time. So let's get to the most fun questions ever. Okay. Oops, that was not the right document I just opened.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Are you ready? So this is for you, Teresa. So vulnerability is?
Being open too much.
What is a weird thing you did as a child?
You cut out. Say that again.
Oh, what is a weird thing you did as a child?
Weird thing that I did as a child.
Your brother's on here, so we could always ask him too.
I don't think it was weird, but I enjoyed making mud pies.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That is so weird. I'm just kidding.
I think that is, yeah, it's going to count.
It's weird enough. It's weird enough. Anything that you wouldn't do as an adult, we can be like, that's kind of weird, but that's cool. All right. A concert that you'll never forget.
My first concert ever, Patti LaBelle.
Oh, that's very innocent. I love it. Something that you're deeply grateful for.
Life.
Oh, hold on. We have the nose ring.
Carcinogenic.
I knew it. Good. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, so now I have to
It's-
okay.
What's the nose thing?
So yes, when I was little, my dad would show me a trick with a coin, and so he would rub it, and it would end up on one side of my ear, and then he would rub it, and then it would end up on the other side of my ear. But he would go like this, and so I found like a watch from like a little. I'm gonna say like it came from a watch, but it was like a small like washer, and so I tried to do the trick myself. And so I put it in my nose, and of course it never came out. And so for the longest time, my mom was like, "What is that smell? What is that smell?" Well, the thing was like in my nose, and so they had to take me to the doctor to take it out. So, yeah,
Oh my God.
appreciate that, brother.
It was probably like metallic. She was probably like, "What?"
Thank you,
And
Chris.
Mom-
That's
yeah,
better than the mud pies.
Yeah,
Right.
mud pies, sticking something that stays in your nose for like weeks.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Well,
That's
what.
what others are there for.
And thanks
Yeah.
for Melissa for telling Chris to bring it
Right.
out. And Marla says, "Thank you and for sharing your heart and words. Gratitude, blessings to everyone." Thank you, Marla.
Love
Have a
and
good
light to you,
night.
brother.
Good night,
Say
Marlo.
Chris, yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep going. Okay,
Yep.
favorite movie.
Did I cut that out there?
Yeah.
Like water for chocolate.
Oh, nice. I love that movie. Last TV show you binged and loved.
Not so much. Wow, it's been a long time since I. Sometimes I break away from that.
From TV.
Las Casas de what is that called? Las Casas de Flores. It was the Spanish.
Is that like the Golden Girls?
No, it was the. I think that was the name.
No matter what you would have said, Ruben would have been like, "Is that the Golden Girls?"
Yeah, was that the Golden Girls?
I'm all slip. The slip up for me.
Okay, what is your favorite meal?
Favorite meal. Anything my mom cooks.
Mama's food's the best.
Yeah.
What is the last dream that you remember? We dream on radar.
What did I have? It was actually this morning, and then I was.
You're
I
gonna
know-
remember it later and be like, "Wait, this is what I was dreaming
No,
about."
I was waiting for my husband somewhere, and then he comes home early in the morning, and like the phone rang because I usually open the garage for him when he comes in, and that's what I got woken up to. It was I was waiting for him to do something, but it was actually him coming and then calling me and then woke me up.
Oh, interesting. So it was very similar to something that could happen in life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By the way, Raquella, it sounds like she's watched the show that you mentioned. The comment flashed by for a second, but it sounds like that was what she was saying, right, Ruben? The House of Flowers?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. I've never seen it. I'm going to have to watch it tonight. I got time.
Okay. What is on your nightstand right now?
Say
Did I
that
cut
again.
out?
Yeah.
Oh, what is on your nightstand right now?
I don't have a nightstand, but
I don't think anybody does.
I know people keep saying that. Maybe I should just say, what is next to the place that you sleep? Remember, Chris was like, I don't even sleep in a bed.
Yeah, I'm saying, I think that might have to revise that one.
what was it again?
So what do you keep in the place that you sleep? Is it like a glass of water, a book? I was gonna say your phone. Those are like the common answers.
No, I don't keep my phone there. Just because I think because your phone carries energy too, and so I try to keep it away, which is it's a good reminder. But what do I have? I'm sure it's probably a toy or something for my son.
How old is your son?
I have a 1-year-old and I have a 5-year-old.
Oh, I have a 1-year-old too.
Oh, exciting.
Well, she's 15 months, so we have probably similar toys hanging out in our house. And then a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. What is a book that you think everyone should read?
A book that you should read. A crystal healing book.
So that we can all get the benefits of more knowledge around these. You know what's funny is just yesterday I packed up all of my crystals because I had this very ornate setup.
Uh-huh.
And I'm letting my daughter roam the house now, and I was like, I just can't keep trying to keep her away from this shelf. So finally I just packed them all up, and I'm thinking I'll put them somewhere I can reach them. But it's funny that now we're talking about all this and I'm like, oh gosh, why did I do that?
I know.
A crystal healing book. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Zara.
Zara, we haven't heard from you on here in so long. I was just thinking of you. It's so good to hear you and see you.
We love you,
I
Zara.
miss you. And the adorable
Chris's little
little
prince.
daughter. I love the Little Prince.
Yes.
Oh gosh, what is that quote from the Little Prince? Something, the most precious things are not visible to the eye. I'm saying it wrong, but
I think it was dearly beloved. We are gathered here for this thing called life.
you know what? You can't always quote Prince.
Oh,
Ruben.
okay.
Is that the
Oh, it
Golden
said
Girl?
Prince. Yeah, that was Blanche.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to do this question first. What is your favorite smell?
Copal and marigolds.
Do you guys have the same favorite smell?
And mezcal.
Because Ruben, isn't that your favorite smell too?
With mezcal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or mine is copal and coffee in the morning.
That's good.
Nice. Okay, and your final question.
Oh, wait.
What is one?
Someone else loves the Golden Girls. I'm sorry. I have to.
He needs.
It's all right.
Yay.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
We love the Golden Girls. You know who else? I won't go on that tangent.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question for our guest is, and I want everyone, as I ask this, to answer it for themselves because it's such a cool thing to reflect on. What is an ordinary moment in your day that fills you with gratitude? Just an ordinary moment, but one that's so beautiful.
I would say when someone asks me to give them a cleanse, and I see in their face joy, and then also their tears of joy. And that is the best feeling to have because it's something that's been built up in them for so long that they came to me for me to help them release that. And that is the best feeling. And I always think about my people that, that always come to me for a cleanse. I always think about them all the time. So, yes, I would say. And those are many, but I can't just narrow it to one. But it's just it's kind of like a chain of energy.
Yeah. I love that. What a cool, ordinary, beautiful moment. Thank you so much for being our guest. It's so great to have you and get to benefit from your calming. You emanate the just chill, calming energy, and I always am so grateful for that as someone that likes to be like, ah.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And I feel better tonight too.
Yes, anybody that's out there, if you just, need somebody to talk to or, send a message or, you can always tap in my Instagram or check down my link. Like I said, I'm not doing any, face-to-face, healing sessions, but I'm always welcome to, have conversations and, let's talk about it and, get your energy aligned.
That's awesome. That's a really cool offer. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
We have another cool offer too.
Yeah.
A teleparty for Golden Girls.
Oh, I think that's where he wants to have like a.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you everybody for coming out. And we'll be here next Friday, too. And I appreciate you coming out, Teresa, and giving us that. I feel actually better. I feel more calm now too. I had a lot of strange energy going through my system, and what to do and what to say, and what could I've done, and I realized that there's nothing I could have done. I could just hold my friend in my heart and to say, have a wonderful journey coming
Yes.
up. And I appreciate this. I appreciate everybody too, and I love everybody out there too. That's
Yes.
one thing.
Love and light to you all.
Yeah. All right. So
Bye,
Melissa,
everybody.
Bye.
anything else for you, Melissa?
This is where I say the deep, dark secret that I've been keeping from you. I have nothing.
Yeah, this is not. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you next Friday on Cali Cocktail Hour. Thank you, Zara, Chris, Serge, Raquella,
Don't be a
Teresa.
Chris, yes,
Chris.
and Chris's new dog. I forgot the name.
That's got a new dog.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Willow trees know you better
right.
than anyone.
Taking off, guys. Bye.
It's
Mia.
time you
Good night,
let
Mia.
your
Good night.
guard down. For someone like me, I'd say I'm settled
Thank you, Teresa, for coming out
and
tonight.
pretty
Appreciate it.
calm. I don't storm in the storm. If not me, then someone like me that knows what to do and how to take care of you.